Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today for my hashtag team Project Pan 2022 update. My last one was actually my May update. That was about 3 weeks ago. It was running late. This is going to be my early July update, so I've skipped June, but hopefully I'll get back on track from now on. I've been sick the last few weeks, so things have, I've made some progress. I've used up some products, but overall, I haven't made heaps of progress because I was sick for like 3 weeks. So it's sort of hard to want to use finishing spray and eyeliner and all that kind of stuff when you're feeling like shit. Before I give you the update, I do also want to mention that technically I think this month is supposed to be a quarterly refresh. So the way we sort of have structured this project pan is that it's a full face rolling project pan. Pick an item of each category. When you use it up, you roll in something new, but every quarter, so every 3 months, you get the chance to refresh. So if there's any products you're struggling with, you can take them out. If there's any products you want to bring in, you can do that. Because I skipped last month and I feel like this is only really my 5th update, I might do my refresh next month. Everything I've got in here at the moment, there's a couple of things that I'm not making good progress on, but I am okay with that. Like there's nothing I really want out and there's nothing I really want to bring in. So I might delay my decision to do a quarterly refresh until next month. As per usual, I'm going to start with the products I've used up and I'm going to tell you which products I'm adding in to replace them. First one is my powder from Mecca. This is that banana powder. This has only taken me not even 2 months to use up. I think I introduced it 2 updates ago. I will have the update from last check-in and it was just sort of like the rim and I used it up probably like within a week after that. So I actually did introduce another powder fairly early. So this is the Nabla Close Up Smoothing Pressed Powder in Light. That's what I've decided to add in. Now, I did take a photo of this before I added it in because it was so early in June that I added it in that I thought, look, I'm going to probably make some decent progress on this, especially since it already had a dip in the pan, and then give you progress now because I knew there was going to be a bit of progress, and there is. I've already hit pan on it. So it's taken me less than a month to hit pan on this powder. This is a pretty soft powder, so you pick up quite a lot at a time. And it's not super mattifying. It's more adding a bit of coverage. And I feel like it does smooth the face. It does set a base, obviously, but it is, a softer, sort of more pigmented powder. So I can sort of even use this on days where I'm using less makeup, or sort of use this as a powder foundation. It's just a bit light for me as a powder foundation. But yeah, I've been going through this pretty fast because it is so soft. So I feel like next month I could probably even finish this up. I'm going to probably have a record this year of finishing up powders. I've been going through a lot of them. Only today I have used up my concealer. This is the Covergirl Outlast Extreme Wear Concealer in the shade Buff Beige. This has been in my project since the start of the year. Now I did talk about this in my buy series, which is a series where I talk about if I buy something, I have to say bye to something similar, just so like one in, one out. And I talked about how I picked up a couple of concealers recently, but I didn't want to get rid of any concealers because I was so close to finishing this one. And this would be the first one I want to get rid of because it's the one I like the least out of the concealers I currently have. So I really wanted to sort of churn through this. The way I've been using this is the way that in my last check-in, I said I was going to use a high coverage foundation. So what I've been doing is actually mixing it with my SPF and using it as like a tinted sunscreen. And that's what I'm actually wearing today. I've put a bit of concealer. I've powdered with the Nabla powder, which has a bit of coverage. So it builds up the coverage a bit, but essentially I just squirt some of this on the back of my hand, squirt some concealer on the back of my hand, mix it up with a sponge, dab it on. You can control how much coverage you get based on the ratio of this. And it's I actually like that more than a tinted moisturizer or a tinted SPF. I feel like a customized one, again, you can customize the color, you can customize if you want to put any luminosity in it with like a liquid highlighter. You can customize the coverage depending on how your skin's going. So it's actually been a really good way to use up both these products. So yeah, that's how I decided to finish this up, because I was just getting a bit impatient with the amount of concealers I currently have and want to get through. So yeah, this is done as of today. There's nothing left in it, and I did weigh it so I can show you a weight comparison. So this is a 9 ml product. Last check-in, it was at 10.59 grams. And at this check-in, it's at 7.56 grams. So I actually used up 3 grams of this. At the start, using it as a concealer and then using it as like that tinted moisturizer. So it's a really good way to get through concealers you no longer want, or to get rid of high coverage foundations you no longer want. And also I may as well update this SPF because it's also in my project pan. So using these together, I actually used 10 grams of this in the last month. So again, really good way to effectively use up 2 products, but actually make them better than how they are individually, in my opinion. So the concealer I'm replacing that one with is from Shiseido. This is the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Concealer in the shade 103 Fair. I like this concealer. It was my handbag concealer, so it was one that I was thinking of throwing out and getting rid of in my Bye 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 series. But it is a really good concealer, and it's like the perfect color match for me. When I do use it, it is like seamless. So when I tried it, I was like, no, I can't, even though it's getting old, I can't get rid of it because the color match is just too good. The formula reminds me a lot of the Fit Me concealer by Maybelline, which I love. I think that's a great concealer, but this is like 5 times the price of that. So I'd probably just prefer to keep using the Maybelline Fit Me, but this shade match is like flawless. And the only reason I'm targeting it is because it's my oldest concealer that I have. So if it wasn't for that, I would keep it around because it's good. The last thing I'm considering done this month is my mini mascara from Estee Lauder. It's a double wear Zero-Smudge lengthening mascara. This is a really nice one. It's just getting a bit dry. It's getting a bit hard to get the effect that I want, and I do find that because it is a little bit drier, sometimes it can feel a little bit flaky by the end of the day. There is a little bit left in it, so I could keep going, but you know, I've been using it for a while and we've had a really good time together, so I really have enjoyed this mascara, but it's time to say goodbye. Now, my goal this year was to get through my mini mascaras. I think I have like 2 or 3 of them left in a drawer, which will last me until the end of the year. The only problem is that recently I've opened a few mascaras. I've actually opened 3. This is a Rimmel London one. It's the Kind and Free. I actually really like this mascara. I've got the e.l.f. Big Mood, which I'm testing as part of like a full face sort of e.l.f. testing thing that I'm currently doing. And also recently I did a review on the MAC Stack mascara. This is a smaller size of the sort of Mega Wand brush. Because I've opened 3 sort of full-size mascaras, I don't want to then focus on a mini. It just doesn't make sense. So I need to decide out of these which one I want to use up. I'm going to be look, spoiler alert, I actually don't think I'm going to keep this because I don't really like it. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm not going to try to use it up. Out of these 2, believe it or not, I think the Rimmel one I like the effect of more. This is a really beautiful mascara, so I want to keep this around for a bit longer. And again, I've just opened it up. So I think the one I'm going to target is the MAC one. Not only is this a smaller mascara, so it's 8 mils instead of the full size, which is 12 mils, but also as soon as I use it up, I can back to MAC it. And I love back to MACing things because I feel like I'm getting something for using up products, which obviously I enjoy using up products. And if there's an incentive to replace it with like a new eyeshadow or a new lipstick, I'm going to take it. So yeah, I think I'm going to focus on this one, even though it's only been open for a couple of weeks. So have the other ones. So yeah, I'm going to focus on my MAC Stack mascara. All right, on to the fun thing, the Benefit Cheekathon blush palette. Now, last month I had growing pan on Coralista, but I hadn't hit pan on anything else. Literally, I think the next day or 2 after filming, I hit a tiny bit of pan on my Hoola bronzer. So now I've been making that bigger, as you can see, which is good. So I've got some good usage on the Coralista and the Hoola bronzer, which are the things I mainly use. We'll have a comparison on the screen so you can see how it looks. A couple of things of note that I'm sort of focusing on. I've been using a little bit of Rockateur. Now, I don't know if you can see from how I'm holding it. I think you can see, but I will have a closer up image. You can start seeing the mesh underneath, the mesh design. That doesn't mean I'm close to hitting pan, but it means that I'm far enough down that the mesh is making a sort of pattern in the design. It doesn't feel bumpy, it just feels sort of smooth, so I'm not super close to the pan, but there is wear happening there. I've also now shifted my attention to Dallas. So Dallas hopefully will start seeing some progress on over the next couple of months, simply because it's a nice winter blush and we're in winter in Australia, but also because now that I've hit pan on Coralista and Hoola, what I would normally do is put the bronzer on, put the blush on, which also acts like a highlighter, but I can use this almost as like a matte blush and bronzer in one. And I like doing that because it means that I can try to get more progress on my highlighter that I have been neglecting, because this one has been shimmery enough to double as a highlighter. So I'm sort of shifting my attention more to Dallas in the next couple of months. Dior highlighter. This is the Illuminating Pressed Powder 001. I am wearing it today. It's a beautiful highlighter. You can see that it's sort of glowy but subtle. It doesn't emphasize skin texture. It makes me look like I've got flawless skin. This bronzer doesn't look the best, but the highlighter looks great. I will have a comparison on the screen, but there is really not much wear going on. There is a bit of a dip. There's a very little pan design going on. But now that I'm focusing mainly on the Dallas blush, I will be reaching for the highlighter more. So hopefully we'll see a lot more progress over the next couple of months. Let's get on to some products that I've marked. So I've marked my fragrance. This is a CK2 by Calvin Klein. I love this fragrance, it's so good. It's a bit of glare, but hopefully you can see I'm down to this yellow mark. Last month I was up to here, and before I was up to there. So I'm making some really steady progress on this. And the way that this shapes, I sort of feel like I could almost be done next month or just after. So I feel like this is, I'm making really good progress on this. I love this fragrance. It's like my signature fragrance, and I can use quite a lot of it because it's very, very fresh and very watery. So I love it. But yeah, I've been using that every day. Sometimes I use it twice a day. Yeah, it's such a good fragrance. All right, I introduced a new foundation last month because I did take out, I was preemptively taking out my La Roche-Posay foundation because I knew that I was going to finish that soon, and I did finish it. It took me a little bit longer than I suspected. I was like, it's going to take 2 applications. It took like a week, but I did use it up. I introduced this instead, the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. It's a super high coverage foundation, and I wanted to use it similar to how I'm using the concealer by mixing it with a sunscreen and sort of like making it a tinted SPF rather than a really high coverage foundation I just don't really wear on a daily basis anymore. Because I started focusing on the concealer, I really didn't get much use out of this. I realistically only used it like maybe 2 or 3 times. So I've just marked underline. There's not much progress, but now that the concealer's done, I will shift my attention to using this with the sunscreen. Something that I've been using a lot, especially now that I've finished my project Apocalypse. I have just been using this, Sigma Renew lip oil in the shade All Heart. I love it. I really enjoy this. It looks gorgeous. And you can tell how much I like it because I introduced it right up the top. Then the pink line was last month, and it's down to here, the yellow line. So I've got a tiny bit left. I'm going to have to take the stopper out. I'm going to have to like scrape down the sides. I'm going to have to clean this out, but I feel like at this rate, I'll probably use it up by the next month because it's such a nice lip oil, and this color is beautiful for this time of year. I do have other shades in this, which I'm just going to decide what I want to replace this with. Is it going to be another one of these lip oils because I have been really enjoying them? I think I've got a pinky shade and a sort of brownie nude shade. So I could, go one of those or something else. We'll see. But I've been loving this, and you can tell because I use it all the time. Something I have been neglecting is my finishing sprays. So these are from Fourth Ray Beauty. I've got the Fresh AF Energizing Mist, and I've got the Glisten Up Illuminating Mist. I've made not much progress. The most progress is on this one, so you can see where I was up to from last month. But these are tiny bottles. I don't know, maybe a year or 2 ago, I would have probably used up one of these bottles in 2 months or less. But now I don't tend to use these too often. It's like that extra step that at the moment isn't too necessary. I think also because I'm not using sort of really high coverage matte finish sort of powdery foundations. I am going for more like mixing them with SPFs or moisturizers or whatever to make them a little bit more dewy. I don't really feel the need to use this. This one, I had a purple mark up the top and then the yellow mark is down the bottom. So I've literally only used this 1 or 2 times. This one I've used a bit more, but progress is a lot slower than I expected. All right, a few products that I'm dragging my feet on. There's some usage, but not much. My Urban Decay Primer Potion, I've only used, look, it was at 15.72 grams and now it's at 15.41 grams. I've used very little. To be fair, because I have been unwell, if I'm wearing makeup, which I generally wear a little bit of makeup, my sort of go-to is a bit of base, bit of powder, a little bit of bronzer, and then I will use like a stick eyeshadow, just something really fast, bit of mascara, run something through my brows, and a lip balm, a lip oil. So that's sort of my daily makeup. So I haven't really been bothering with eyeshadow primer too much because I haven't been using as much powder eyeshadow as I would like. It's also why my series about testing my eyeshadow palettes is a bit late. I was over ambitious this time around and I'm trying to test all my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, and yeah, there's some days where I'm just like, oh, I can't be bothered taking photos and using brushes. I just want to put something on with a stick, rub it in with my finger, and off I go. So yeah, not much usage, but when I do use primer, I use it. Yeah, it is what it is. My Cosmetics brow gel, tinted brow gel. I'll have the name in the description box. It's a name that's not on the packaging. I'm wearing this today, so I've run it through my brows today. Similar to the Primer Potion, yes, I have worn it a few times, but because I want my makeup to be a lot faster, I have been opting for a brow pencil on fast makeup days, because this one, especially at the front of my brows, it takes a little bit of finesse to sort of make it look the way I want it to look, because I'm using a wand. So it's really good for the bulk of the brows, but to sort of do something here, there's a little bit more effort involved. And lately I just haven't been bothered. So this one I've only used a couple of times, and it shows because I've only used 0.04 grams of product. So I've literally probably only used this like 3 or 4 times in the past month. And it is what it is. Same goes for my liners. Again, I have used them. I'm using both of these today. So on my top lash line, I've got my Nabla Serial liner, which is a black liquid pen liner. It's very nice, and I've used it a handful of times, but you use the smallest amount. Compared to last month, I've used 0.02 grams. There's still usage, but there's really not much. And then I also have my Nabla, this is the Cupid's Arrow number 2 eyeliner. I mainly use this on my waterline. I've also tight lined with it today, so I only use a small amount. And I'll have to have like a comparison on the screen of photos because I'm not weighing this, but yeah, there's this much left, whatever that means. And the last 2 things, I'm gonna be a broken record, but I'm gonna change my broken record hopefully next time around. I've got my Bobbi Brown gel eyeliners, which I've made no progress on, and I've also got my Benefit Kabrow, which I've made no progress on because, again, broken record. I need to rehydrate them with something like Duraline. I did buy a nice fresh Duraline. I've lost it, and I have open, I'm not kidding you, at the moment with my laptop, I've got a page open to buy a new one. But tomorrow I'm actually going to sift through my makeup drawers and organize my lipsticks for my swatch off series. And if I find it amongst that, I don't want to have ordered one. So as soon as I find out if it's in there tomorrow, if it is, awesome. If it's not, I'll order a new one. But regardless, these are going to be rehydrated by my next check-in, and I'm going to start using them again. So even though I'm tempted to take them out because I haven't used them for a couple of months, I do like the products. It's just they need to be rehydrated. So I will get on to that ASAP. All right, so that's my update. If you're doing a project pan, let me know how you're going with it. What products are you loving, hating, getting most progress on, struggling the most on, etc. I'd love to know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.